The Nintendo Switch 2 has a lot of games coming in 2026, some expected, some surprising. Today, we're counting down the top 10 upcoming AAA games you need to know about. Let's go through them one by one. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave is the next big one, coming exclusively to Switch 2 in 2026. The setup is wild. There's this massive tournament called the Heroic Games, hosted by a powerful figure called the Divine Sovereign, and whoever wins gets their wish granted. Sounds awesome, right? But every single fighter entering has their own reason for being there, and none of those reasons are simple. You've got Kai, who only wants to fight to save his dying father. Theodora wants to prove she's worthy of becoming queen. Then there's Dietrich, who's hunting some kind of darkness, and Lita, who's after revenge so intense that just killing her enemy isn't enough. Gameplay stays true to the series. Grid-based, turn-based tactical battles where positioning, unit types, and weapon matchups matter every single move. The art style looks gorgeous, and there are strong hints this is set in the same universe as Three Houses. No exact date yet, but summer 2026 at the earliest. Trails in the Sky, second chapter. So if you played Trails in the Sky first chapter, or even if you haven't, second chapter is coming to Switch 2 this fall, and it continues the story right where things left off. You follow Estelle Bright, a senior bracer who's just discovered that her partner Joshua, someone she deeply cares about, has vanished after revealing a dark secret about his past. He leaves her with nothing but his harmonica and a goodbye. From there, Estelle sets out across the kingdom of Liberl to find him, and stumbles right into a massive conspiracy involving a shadowy organization called Ouroboros. The combat mixes real-time field action with turn-based battles, and the whole thing feels like a deep JRPG that rewards patience and attention. New mechanics like Brave Rush let you chain character attacks together, and the orbment system lets you mix and match elemental magic. There's also fishing, poker, cooking with companions. It's got serious comfort RPG energy. If you carry over save data from first chapter, you get bonus items too. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. This is a Switch 2 exclusive, and honestly, one of the most charming looking games of the year. A mysterious talking book called Mr. E falls from the sky onto Yoshi's island, and inside those pages live all kinds of strange creatures nobody's ever seen before. Yoshi dives right in, literally entering the book as an inky version of himself to explore each chapter and document the creatures he finds. The twist is that you can interact with these creatures in very Yoshi-like ways. Like, there's a frog you discover early on, Yoshi eats it, decides it tastes bad, spits it back out, and now the frog blows bubbles you can hop into and ride through levels. Feeding different foods to creatures changes how the bubbles work, which opens up different platforming routes. So it's about exploring, experimenting, and filling out this creature encyclopedia as you go deeper. The whole thing has that signature Yoshi storybook visual style, soft, colorful, almost like you're playing inside a children's book, and Bowser Jr. is teased to show up and cause some trouble later on. The Adventures of Elliot, the Millennium Tales. This one's from Team Asano, the same people behind Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default, and it is their first ever HD 2D action RPG with real-time combat. The world is called Philobeildia, a continent where beast tribes have taken over, and humans are barely surviving in a protected kingdom. You play as Elliot, an adventurer who grew up as an orphan and still donates his earnings to take care of younger kids at the orphanage. He discovers ancient ruins outside the kingdom, and through a mysterious artifact called the Doorway of Time, he and his fairy companion Faye start traveling across 4 different time periods, each with its own characters, setting, and desperate situation to deal with. Combat is fast-paced and real-time, with a sword, bow, and bombs, plus a magicite system to customize your weapons and abilities. Faye supports you with fairy magic and hacking security systems. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This one's already won multiple Game of the Year awards on other platforms, and now it's finally coming to Switch 2 on May 12th. Developed by Machine Games, the studio behind the recent Wolfenstein games, this is a first-person adventure set in 1937 between the events of Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade. A sinister group is hunting for a powerful ancient secret connected to a set of mysterious sites around the globe that form a perfect circle. As Indiana Jones, you travel to Vatican City, the Pyramids of Giza, the Himalayan mountains, ancient Sukhothai temples, and more. The whip is everywhere. You use it to swing over enemies, disarm people, solve environmental puzzles, and traverse gaps. But the game actually pushes you towards stealth and improvisation rather than guns. Because Indy isn't a soldier, he's a clumsy archaeologist who happens to be very resourceful. You can wear disguises, sneak through restricted areas, pick up random objects to use as weapons, and unlock permanent skills through exploration and photography. 007 First Light. This is the James Bond origin story game from IO Interactive, the developers of Hitman, and it's landing on Switch 2 on May 27th. You're playing as a young, unproven James Bond who's just entered MI6's training program after pulling off something heroic. He's talented, but reckless, and the whole game is about him earning that 007 status. It's a third-person action game built around what IO Interactive calls the creative approach, basically meaning you have real choices in how you handle every mission. You can go full stealth, eavesdropping on conversations, pickpocketing targets, and slipping through undetected. Or you can go loud, with combat that blends shooting, hand-to-hand takedowns, and environmental destruction. There's also Bond's instinct ability, a resource you use to read a room, bluff past suspicion, or sharpen your aim mid-fight. Gadgets from Q Branch unlock as you progress, each one adding new stealth and tactical options. Missions take you to places like a chess tournament in Slovakia and a gala in Kensington, London. Elden Ring is finally coming to Nintendo hardware, and this version is built specifically for Switch 2. The Tarnished edition includes the full base game plus Shadow of the Erdtree, the massive expansion that came out in 2024, along with new exclusive content like additional character classes, new armor sets, and torrent customization options. For anyone unfamiliar, Elden Ring is From Software's open-world action RPG set in a massive dark fantasy world designed alongside George R.R. Martin. You explore the lands between on horseback, fight terrifying bosses, die a lot, and slowly piece together a rich world full of secrets. The challenge is very real, but the game is genuinely fair. Every death teaches you something. The Tarnished edition adds 2 new starting classes, the Heavy Knight, a slow and defensive powerhouse, and the Light Knight, built for fast attacks and quick movement. Performance on Switch 2 has been improving a lot. Recent demo footage from GDC 2026 showed the game running at a stable 30 to 40 frames per second, with significantly improved visuals compared to early builds. Pragmata is Capcom's brand new IP, their first in nearly a decade, and it drops on April 17th on Switch 2. The setting is a cold, hostile lunar research station in the near future, and the whole place has been taken over by a rogue AI. You play as Hugh, a spacefarer stuck on the moon, and your only real ally is Diana, an android companion riding on his back. The core gameplay loop is a split-brain experience. Diana hacks enemy systems to expose weaknesses, then Hugh shoots those exposed spots with a diverse arsenal of weapons. Enemies are armored robots, and bullets alone don't cut it. You need the hacking and shooting to work together constantly. Hugh also has thrusters for dashing and hovering, while Diana takes care of security panels and environmental puzzles. As you go deeper into the station, you unlock new weapons and gadgets through a hub area called the Shelter, and the environments shift from icy corridors to the lunar surface to a surprisingly lush greenhouse sector. The tone is tense and sci-fi, but the gameplay feels fast and satisfying. The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion is one of the most legendary RPGs ever made, and now it's coming to Switch 2 this year in a fully remastered form. This marks the very first time Oblivion has ever been on a Nintendo platform. The remaster isn't just a visual upgrade either. It's been described as closer to a remake in how much has been rebuilt. Everything is running on modern engine tech, with fully updated graphics, animations, and lighting. The complete package includes the base game, plus both major expansions, Knights of the Nine and the Shivering Isles. The world is Cyrodiil, a massive open fantasy land filled with dungeons, side quests, guilds, and a main story involving gates to another dimension opening across the realm. You can build any character type you want, a sneaky archer, a heavy warrior, a spell-slinging mage, or a mix of everything. The game is massive, full of personality, and built for countless hours of exploration. Being able to take it portable on Switch 2 is a genuinely exciting prospect. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, landing on Switch 2 on June 3rd. This is the second chapter in Square Enix's epic retelling of the original Final Fantasy VII, and if you thought Remake was good, people say Rebirth is better in almost every way. After the events of Remake, Cloud and the rest of the group leave the city of Midgar for the first time and step out into a much bigger world. What follows is a sprawling action RPG with a semi-open world structure, deep combat that mixes real-time attacks with ability commands and party coordination, and some of the most emotionally heavy story moments in recent gaming memory. Each party member plays differently and feels necessary in battle, There's also a mountain of side content, mini-games, exploration activities, card games, character bonding moments that make the world feel genuinely alive. For newcomers, Square Enix has included streamlined features to help you get up to speed. If you already played Final Fantasy VII Remake on Switch 2, which just launched this January, this picks up right where that ends. And that's your top 10 Switch 2 games to watch for in 2026. Honestly, the lineup this year is something else. Drop a comment on which one you're most hyped for, and subscribe so you don't miss the reviews when these land.